Worship reminds me the specific feeling that it brings out of me is it reminds me consistently of like exactly how broken I was when I came to give my life to Christ. I grew up in the church, but around the age of 14, when I had started high school, and I had a really good friend that I had known, since kindergarten, and we had split up during middle school, went to separate schools, and then we got back together my freshman year. And I was really excited to have my friend back in my life. And then January 13th of that semester, he took his own life, pretty much out of nowhere. So I started, that was my first real experience with like a sudden death like that close. And then I had a pastor at that time ask me if he was a Christian. And I said, I don't think so. And he says, well, that's all you need to know. And I was like so mad about that answer. Started to take a turn for the worse in my own personal mental health. And so later, around April that year, I tried to take my own life. So then around that summer, I started kind of running off. I started drinking with random people, and lo and behold, I became like a good time guy. Did that for sophomore and junior year, and then I got pretty tired of not really liking myself. And so the summer before my senior year, I went to the recruiting office and talked to the recruiter about it, and basically committed to going to boot camp after my senior year was over. Graduated, checked into the infantry school, finished infantry school, checked into my unit, did 2 deployments, and long story short, I finished my service, honorable discharge, and I was done. I started to just struggle with isolation and loneliness, and I would go to whatever I got invited to, and I would do whatever. And I was introduced to cocaine at a party around May of 2019. I really liked it. I thought that it kind of filled all of the holes that I thought I lacked in as confident, or not as interesting or talkative or however else. It just made me feel courageous. In all actuality, I was like a very afraid person, feigning confidence a lot. I had been dabbling into music a little bit and had a band contact me, and I took on a position as a lead singer for them and toured a little bit, went to a couple places, played some shows, did that for about 2 years. And all the while I was in and out of drug use. I started using methamphetamine, and I started using any sort of prescription pill that I could get. My dad intervened and got me sent to a detox facility in Augusta, and that lasted about 9 months. Most of my life, after I had had my break when I was about 14, I didn't believe in God at all. I didn't have a relationship with God. I didn't want one. I didn't think that he even existed. So during this period of sobriety, they always say that it's important to admit to surrender to a higher power other than yourself. And so I was looking for anything but God, and started to experience serious oppression on my life, the darkest depressions, nightmares, worse than anything that I had been getting from the military. What I kind of did in my life, with that hopelessness, is I continued to chase identity. I reinvented myself time and time again. There was the big fat drunk guy that would do whatever, jump off a roof. You tell me, I'll do it. Then there was the Marine, the angry shaved head guy that would fight you and freaking try to outdrink you and act like a moron. Then there was this fake rock star guy that was up on stage being cringe and weird. And then there was the underlying person that throughout most of that, which was the addict. And it got to a point where I was I didn't even really recognize myself anymore. I didn't even know what I liked. There was a good moment where I was all right, God, it's your terms now. I said, it's not mine. I became comfortable with me because it had nothing to do with me. It was more about first part of the day, thank you, God, for everything. Now what can I do to honor you? But I'm telling you, if I put anything in front of God, no way. It would all come unraveled, and I would start trying to control things again and handle things that I shouldn't be worried about, And so it really simplified my life. and just made it less about me. So I didn't have to chase identity anymore. I can be accountable for the things I've done, and I can apologize, and I can try to make right what I can make right within my own safety. But I don't live that way anymore. It's as easy to say as like, very fortunate I don't have to live that way anymore.